Q106.7 weather.
Here's your KQNK forecast. Mainly sunny skies today with daytime highs approaching 52. Northwest winds 8 to 15 miles per hour. The lows level off around 26 tonight. Mainly clear skies. Cloudy skies with a few peaks of sun tomorrow. Daytime highs approaching 52. Dry with temps above average Wednesday and Thursday, and highs from the upper 40s to the upper 50s. From the Weatherology Weather Center, I'm staff meteorologist Laura Lockwood. Right now it's 32 degrees.
Kansas Information Network News, I'm Jen Austin. One person was hospitalized after the second crash into an Interstate 35 pond near Emporia. Julio Flores has more.
Saturday morning's crash happened just shortly after 7:30 a.m. near the I-35 East 6th Avenue exit southbound. Emporia Fire Captain Willie Ward says the unnamed driver went off I-35 about 75 yards into the pond before walking to a nearby house where Emporia Fire responded and later took him to Newman Regional Health. After further investigation, Lyon County Undersheriff John Kolch says the incident was an act of attempted self-harm. I'm Julio Flores.
The Harvey County Sheriff's Office is investigating a hunting accident that left one person dead on Saturday. The Kansas Department of Wildlife and Parks also responded to the accident around 7 a.m. near Burton. One man died from a gunshot wound, and circumstances surrounding the accident have not been released. The investigation is continuing with the Harvey County Sheriff's Office and state game wardens. This is Kansas Information Network News.
With today's inflation straining your budget, your Kansas Farm Bureau membership can help keep more money in your pocket. Get 15% off current published rates at Nextech Wireless. Special member pricing on select Grainger products. Save on vacation and travel with Avis Budget and Choice Hotels. And join the Kansans who've switched to Kansas Farm Bureau health plans, who enjoy significant savings on nationwide medical health care coverage. Join today. For a full list of benefits, visit kfb.org/benefits.
Hear that? That's the sound of your life. Perfectly imperfect. Beating in rhythm to the world you've created. But every time you drive after drinking, the music gets drowned out. Your life sounds pretty great. Don't let a buzz ruin it. Buzz driving is drunk driving. Don't drive buzzed. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Good morning, I'm Natalie Hadley with your KQNK News. Brought to you by Firebolt Ag, LLC, serving all of your chemical and fertilizer needs. Demand for abortion in Kansas skyrocketed by 58% during 2023 in response to near total bans on the procedure in Missouri and Oklahoma and strict limits in other Midwest states. The Kansas Department of Health and Environment reported that Kansas documented 7,849 abortions in 2021. However, the U.S. Supreme Court's decision to strike down Roe v. Wade and the 2019 Kansas Supreme Court's opinion that women had a state constitutional right to terminate a pregnancy were factors in the rise in Kansas abortions to 12,319 in 2022. And the Kansas Department of Health and Environment said Kansas's total of abortions substantially escalated in 2023 to 19,467. In 2022, non-residents received 8,475 abortions, and the number of out-of-state patients reached 15,111 in 2023, though passage of a Missouri constitutional amendment in November to reestablish reproductive freedom could have an influence on non-resident abortions in Kansas during 2025. In terms of Kansas residents, last year's 4,356 abortions was an increase of 512 from 2022. In 2019, the Kansas Supreme Court held the state's Bill of Rights contained the right to control one's own body and exercise self-determination. The justices said this fundamental state right included decisions about pregnancy, and soon after the reversal of Roe v. Wade in 2022, Kansas voters overwhelmingly rejected a proposed amendment to the Constitution that would have opened the door to more strict abortion laws. In 2024, the Kansas State Supreme Court struck down anti-abortion statutes included in the ban on a second semester procedure and laws regulating abortion providers more aggressively than other health professionals. Under current standards, an abortion in Kansas may be performed up to 22 weeks of pregnancy. In 2024, Nebraska voters inserted a 12-week ban into its state constitution. Iowa enforces a 6-week ban, and Missouri and Oklahoma have been prohibiting abortion except to protect individuals from life-threatening situations. On Thursday, Governor Kelly announced that the Kansas Office of Broadband Development will begin accepting applications on February 3, 2025, for funding from the National Telecommunications Information and Administration, or NTIA, Digital Equity Capacity Grant Program, and there will be a total of $8.2 million available in funding. Governor Kelly said this state digital equity capacity grant will enable them to continue expanding internet access to all Kansans, and thanks to the Digital Equity Act, these funds will empower more Kansans to fully leverage the power of technology and thrive in the digital connected economy. The program promotes partnerships to enhance digital opportunity efforts and expand workforce skills, education, and other resources. And while applicants are encouraged to develop new and innovative strategies, the program targets projects in areas that include digital skills, e-government and civic engagement, device distribution programs, economic development, online access to health and mental wellness services, online accessibility, and access to affordable broadband service. Applications will be open from February 3rd to April 3rd, 2025. Eligible entities that are encouraged to apply include community organizations, educational institutions, tribal nations, and local government agencies. To learn more about the efforts of the Kansas Office of Broadband Development, you can visit kansascommerce.gov/Office of Broadband Development. This time of year marks the period when vehicle deer collisions increase, and Kansas roadways are no exception. So that's why the Kansas Highway Patrol, the Kansas Department of Transportation, the Kansas Department of Wildlife and Parks, the Kansas Turnpike Authority, and AAA Kansas offer helpful tips to assist drivers as they navigate Kansas roadways, including what to do if motorists have a collision with a deer. While the vast majority of vehicle deer collisions don't result in serious injury, data collected by the Kansas Department of Transportation indicates that in 2023, 7 people were killed and 658 were injured in collisions involving deer. To avoid incurring costly vehicle repairs or worse, state experts have offered some helpful safety tips that includes to be especially watchful at dawn and dusk when the deer are more active. If you see one deer, you should expect others, as deer seldom travel alone. Be extra vigilant and reduce vehicle speeds near wooded areas or green spaces, such as parks and golf courses, and near water sources, such as streams and ponds. Deer crossing signs show areas where high numbers of vehicle deer collisions have occurred in the past, so be extra cautious in these areas. Don't swerve to avoid hitting a deer, because the most serious crashes can occur, as this could cause you to potentially lose control of your vehicle, leave the road, or veer into oncoming traffic. And always wear a seatbelt and use appropriate child safety seats, as these are the best defense in any collision. Motorists are reminded that you can always remain safe as possible in your vehicle by staying alert, slowing down, and eliminating distractions while driving. In Nebraska news, authorities arrested a man on Wednesday for threatening and brandishing a handgun at a person at the Hastings College campus. Hastings police reported that 24-year-old Marcus Rice entered a Hastings College dorm building on Wednesday looking for someone he had an issue with, and he began knocking on doors looking for that person. However, he didn't find them, and he left the building. Authorities said Rice then saw the alleged person in a window, removed a handgun from his clothing, and began threatening the person, but he didn't fire any shots. Rice left the Hastings College campus and turned himself in to the Adams County Sheriff's Office later that day, and he was arrested on charges of terroristic threats, use of a weapon to commit a felony, and having a firearm on school property. He was booked into the Adams County Jail. However, he posted 10% of a $50,000 bond for his release. Rice is scheduled to appear in court for his first hearing on January 23rd. Nebraska firefighters spent an hour battling a blaze in Hastings on Thursday night. Fire crews responded to a house fire near East 4th Street and North California Avenue in Hastings at about 7:30 p.m. on Thursday night, according to the Hastings Fire and Rescue. They brought it under control at about 8:30 p.m. The fire department said the house was under construction, which made it harder to fight the fire, and everyone was evacuated with no one being injured. According to the fire department, all utilities were shut off before the blaze, and the Hastings Rural Volunteer Fire Department also responded to the fire. Officials reported that the cause is still under investigation. I'll be back with more in just a moment. 2 people were injured in an accident just after 6:30 p.m. on Thursday in Ellis County. The Kansas Highway Patrol reported that a 2025 GMC Terrain driven by 74-year-old Judith K. Smith of Hayes was northbound on US 183, approximately 1.5 miles south of Hayes, when the SUV struck a deer that had run onto the road. EMS transported Smith, a passenger in the vehicle, 78-year-old Leslie E. Smith of Hayes, to Hayes Medical Center, and both were properly restrained according to the Kansas Highway Patrol. 1 person was injured in an accident during a pursuit by law enforcement just after 10 p.m. on Friday in Thomas County. The Kansas Highway Patrol reported that a Thomas County Sheriff's deputy attempted to stop a 2008 Ford Mustang that was driven by 16-year-old Nerlin Y. Arriago of Colby for drag racing. The teen driver failed to yield and began driving at a high rate of speed eastbound on College Drive in Colby and continued onto County Road R. The driver lost control of the car just east of County Road 23 at around 105 miles per hour, and the car slid sideways into the north ditch, rolled, and came to rest on its top. EMS transported Arriago to Citizens Medical Center. He was not wearing a seatbelt, according to the Kansas Highway Patrol. On Friday, December 13th, the Norton Blue Jay wrestlers traveled to the Southern Valley Invitational, finishing 13th as a team with 48 points. Norton head wrestling coach Bill Brockelman reported that Norton sent 7 boys to Southern Valley, a mixture of young kids and junior varsity kids, and Colton Stover, who was unable to attend the Holdridge meet. And overall, coach said he thought the boys wrestled well at a varsity tournament. Colton Stover had a dominant week, pinning in the duel and dominating at the tournament, being Norton's lone champion from the tournament. Michael Urban had a fantastic week of wrestling. He kept a tough match close in the Phillipsburg duel, losing by decision, and then battled all the way through the backside after falling to the eventual runner-up in the first round to place 4th. And Michael showed some real grit and toughness last week, which earned him one of the Wrestlers of the Week. The wrestlers traveled to Holdridge on Saturday, December 14th for the Holdridge Duster Invitational. For the team scores, Minden placed first with 154 points, Broken Bow placed second with 135 points, McCook placed third with 133.5 points, and Norton placed fourth with 114 points. There was a total of 9 teams competing. Coach Brockelman reported that Norton took 7 boys to Holdridge and held their own with the other teams that had full teams. Norton finished 4th as a team and crowned 3 champions and 2 runner-ups. Caleb Kieswetter had a very dominant day, pinning or tech falling all of his opponents, and Derek Clydesdale also had a very dominant day, winning his first 2 by fall, and being very dominant in the finals against a tough Minden opponent. The last champion of the group was Corbin Puga, who also pinned all of his opponents. Norton also had 2 runner-ups, Jayton Weigel, who had a great day. However, he fell short in the finals against a very tough Broken Bow opponent, falling 6-1, but was very close to having multiple takedowns. Norton's last medalist, Aston Katz, had a great week of wrestling as he started his week off great, defeating returning state champion Caden Sisson in the duel. And then he also had a great tournament at Holdridge, and this earned him one of the Wrestlers of the Week awards. The boys will be back in action wrestling on Thursday with the duel with Trigo, and then on Saturday at the Goodland Holiday Classic. Memorial services for Glenn Schultz, 96 of Norton, will be held at 2 p.m. on Friday, December 20th at the Plummer Gobber Funeral Home, and interment with military honors will follow in the Norton Cemetery. Memorial contributions may be made to the Norton Booster Club and sent in care of Plummer Gobber Funeral Home, 215 West Main Street in Norton, and condolences may be left at plummergobber.com. Your menu today for Eisenhower Elementary School. For lunch, you'll have peanut butter and honey sandwich, cottage cheese, warm peas, baby carrots, mandarin oranges, and milk. For Norton Community High School and Junior High, your lunch today will be breaded beef patty with whipped potatoes or cheese pizza with fruit and milk. And for Northern Valley Schools, your lunch today will be enchiladas, salad, vegetable, and fruit. I'm Natalie Hadley. Your KQNK News has been brought to you by Firebolt Ag, LLC, farmers helping farmers to succeed. You can contact Firebolt Ag today to get the most out of your farmland. Your KQNK weather forecast is being brought to you by Hinkle Termite and Pest Control, your Norton experts for all of your pest control needs. Your forecast for today, it should be sunny with a high near 52 and a northwest wind of 5 to 15 miles per hour. Your forecast for tonight, it should be partly cloudy with a low around 26 and a southwest wind of 5 to 10 miles per hour becoming southeast after midnight. I'll be back with the rest of your forecast in just a moment. Continue with your weather forecast. On Tuesday, it should be partly sunny with a high near 52. On Wednesday, sunny with a high near 49. On Thursday, it should be sunny with a high near 59. On Friday, sunny with a high near 43. On Saturday, sunny with a high near 45. And on Sunday, it should be sunny with a high near 50. Currently, with fair skies, it is 25 degrees. The humidity is 86%. The wind speed is west at 7 miles per hour. The barometric pressure is 30.17. The dew point is 21 degrees, and the current wind chill is 17 degrees. Your weather was brought to you by Hinkle Termite and Pest Control right here in Norton. You can call Hinkle Termite and Pest Control at 785-202-0167 for all of your pest control needs. It is 8:20. It's time for Kansas Sports. That's being brought to you by United Northwest Federal Credit Union, where everything they do for you.
KIN Sports, I'm Spencer Dupuis. The Chiefs knocked off the Browns 21-7 yesterday to go to 13-1 on the season, and the defense had 6 takeaways in this one after coming in with 10 prior to it. It was an interception from Trent McDuffie and Nick Bolton. Brian Cook and Jaden Hicks kind of led the way there. 2 sacks from George Karlaftis, a sack from Charles Omenihu also helped lead the way, along with a sack from Torque Wharton and half a sack each from Drew Tranquil and Nick Bolton. Offensively, Xavier Worthy had a touchdown rush that could be changed to a touchdown reception. Noah Gray and Juju Smith-Schuster caught touchdown passes. Patrick Mahomes finished with 2 touchdowns and no picks, but he didn't finish the game. After the game, though, he said if he needed to be, he could have probably finished the game, but the smart decision was to let Carson Wentz go in there and finish it. The Chiefs are now 13-1. They'll take on the Texans Saturday. Kansas Information Network Sports, I'm Spencer Dupuis.
Ranchers, when you're out working in the elements, you need gear that works as hard as you do. Dry Shot is the boot that fits that bill and has become the #1 outdoor boot at valleyvet.com. With genuine high-quality natural rubber overlay and better shank support, the 100% waterproof Dry Shot boots are more comfortable hour after hour. You will appreciate the 4-way stretch, breathable air mesh lining, and the ability to roll down the tops to tuck in pant legs. Fewer seams means no water saturation and no heavy boots to lug. You'll like the all-terrain self-cleaning acid-resistant sole. Your feet will be warm and dry when the weather gets mucky. Make your Christmas shopping easy. Dry Shod the whole family at valleyvet.com. There you'll find exceptional value and a large selection of meds and more. Shipped fast and free on most orders over $75. Find your ranching needs at valleyvet.com or shop their store in Marysville.
Valleyvet.com. Valley Vet Supply.
It's true, many of us spend more time thinking about what's for dinner than preparing for retirement. But if you think your retirement needs deserve more attention, I agree, and I'd like to help. I'm Edward Jones Financial Advisor Philip Eisenhagen. Together we can give your long-term retirement strategy the attention it deserves. Stop by our office at 418 East Home here in Norton or call 877-3373. Edward Jones, Making Sense of Investing, member SIPC.